Hey, this is Professor Wilbur from dragonDropCode.com. I'm going to show you how to build Instagram with Adalo, a no-code kind of visual app development tool. It's pretty crazy how quick you can build something like this, even if you really don't have any coding experience. So here's kind of what we're going to build. This is what it looks like. Now, if you look in the description for this YouTube video, you'll see a link back to a previous video, which was a very simple Instagram. And we're going to start with that version, and we're going to add to it. We're going to make it look like a real Instagram. So that one had a very tiny little picture and not much information, and we're going to make it so we show the author, picture and name, we show the caption, we show a big giant picture, you can like stuff. We're going to have followers, and really that homepage just showed only the followers posts. Okay, so you can also go look at a particular person's stuff and see their followers and who they're following as well. Okay, so anyway, we're going to build a much more complex Instagram, and we're going to start, like I said, with that tool or with the Instagram you built if you've done that previous tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab basically this is the final version of that simplified tutorial, and I'll run it for you. Okay, so if I run this preview, you'll notice it's just this very simple list, and there's not much other information that you can do. That's all there is, but you can add new things. And so the basics are there, but run through that tutorial first, get to that point, and then come back to here and I'll show you how to make it like a real Instagram app. Okay, cool. So we've got this app, and the first thing I kind of really want to do is show you is let's get rid of the simple list and make it a custom list, so we can make it with a big picture, and we can make it with exactly the data we want to show in that list. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this, and let me just make these guys a little bit bigger here, and kind of drag this home screen over. There we go. So I'm going to get rid of this simple list, and then I'm going to go over to my home screen, and I'm going to add a component. And I don't want the simple list. I'm going to go down into the list folder. There's a bunch of more sophisticated, different kinds of lists, but probably the most well, for sure the most flexible, you can do anything you want, is this thing called a custom list. So I'm going to drag that custom list in, and let's just move this over a little bit. Okay, really this custom list, I can stick whatever I want in these items. Okay, it comes with some default items, and we can look at this. So here's my list, and let me just rename it. This is my post list, right? I like to give descriptive names for my components. So there's my list. It's a list of posts. And what's interesting about custom lists is they have this other section. This could even say subcomponents. So it's really what shows up in each little item. Okay, and all these lists are basically to show a database. Show all the rows of a database, but you got to tell it which row, which data of the table to show. So my subcomponents by default come with 2 text blocks and a title and a subtitle, and they're really not set to anything. So I actually have to go in here and say, oh yeah, I want the current post text. That'll show up there, and get rid of the kind of default stuff. Okay, and that's my my post text label. Okay, and then I go back. My other component down here is this thing called subtitle, and I'm going to show the current post created date. Okay, so I'm basically going to show what we were showing before in the simple Instagram. I'm going to start out just showing that. Okay, and I'll rename this guy to the created label. Okay, and it's just going to say when the post was done. Okay, and if I preview, I've got a couple data items in here. Notice we don't have an image yet, right? So by default, the custom list only has text in it, but it is picking up my 2 data items already. So at least I got the basis in. Okay, now, well, what's really this all about? Well, I can do whatever I want with these guys. So I'm going to make, first of all, I'm going to make this item bigger. Okay, and when you do that, just be careful. You don't want to mess it up. You want to make sure always your stuff shows up both in this first item is like the template item. Whatever you do to it should happen to every other item that appears. And of course, you might have a bunch of items once you bring stuff in from the database. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to grab, basically this caption and move it down here. And then I'll just move the date by that and make it smaller. I don't know if this is going to look exactly right, but that's what we'll do to start. And then we want to put our picture in here. Okay, so we need to actually add a picture. Whoops, I still want to go to my home screen, and I want to go to my post list, and I want to go down to the components for it. So here is the stuff in each of these items, and I want to add one more thing here. And so not a component to the screen, but one to the list item. Okay, and really what I want is just an image, right? I want to show the image for each post, and I'm going to drag that guy in here. Okay, and be careful when you do this, because you need it to show up in where, you need to make sure you inserted it within the list item and not in the bigger screen. And that I did, because notice how it shows up down here too. Okay, so I've got my image and I've got these two guys, and my image source, of course, is going to be the current post pick. Okay, I think I might be doing pretty good. Let's see. Let's preview this guy. And when I show my database items, I've got Draymond Green blocking, LeBron. So, but I'm not showing the created for some reason. I think I might have screwed that one up. So let's go back. And notice, yeah, the created date doesn't show up on the second item. That means somehow it got outside of the list item thing. So I need to get it back in. And so there it goes. So now I got it back in as a list item. And the key is it needs to show up in all items. So now I think if I preview, I should have a created date. Okay, I need to mess around with this to make sure things fit. But we're getting pretty close, and notice my pictures are nice and big for each post. Okay, so key with the custom list is I can put anything in this case I got an image and two things, but I can put other things in it as well. And in fact, what I'm going to do is make this image a little smaller, and then I'm going to put the author's stuff up here. But I got to do a couple things with the author, because we're not even marking the author right now. Okay, so what we want is to put a picture of whoever authored the post and then the author's name up here, and then we're also going to end up putting a heart down here so you can like stuff. But first, let's just worry about the user in our custom list. Okay, so I really want to add some more stuff into my item, but I'm not quite ready to do that. So what I'm going to do is go to my database. And I gotta add a couple things. One, for users, I need to add an image, and that image is going to be like a profile picture. And we don't have a like a profile page yet, a profile screen where the user can kind of change their image and stuff. So what we'll do is we'll just go into these records, and as a developer, I'll just add the kind of fake data. Okay, and later we'll add that profile stuff. So for this Henry Hayward, I'm going to add a picture of myself, and let's see if I can find a picture of me. So me from there's one. I know this is a picture of myself. Okay, so I'm bringing in that image. Okay, and for some reason the name is Henry Hayward, and then Tomas is my son. I'll grab a picture of him. And if I type in Tomas here, there's a little picture of him. So anyway, we got two kind of real, but not exactly, kind of fake people, fake data. Okay. All right. So that imagery is in there. So now every user has a picture. The other thing we have to do is our posts need to be marked by the creator. And if we go down to posts, you'll see there is no such thing. So we need a property, and it's going to be text, and it's going to be, oh, sorry, it's not going to be text. Let me cancel that. I'm going to add a property, and it's going to be a relationship to a user. So it's going to be a user. Okay, and the user, so how are users and posts related? Well, every user can have a bunch of posts, and every post only has one user though, okay, because only one person created it. Okay, so I'm going to choose this top box, and that's what we got. So now I've got a user field within post. Okay, and I'm going to go to my post records and once again manually change these. And I've actually got two users. They're both my own emails, but okay, I'm just going to say that Wilbur D at USFCA created that one. And this one, I'm going to say that Wilbur D at Gmail created it. Okay, so now each of these is marked. And I just real quickly, I'm going to go to my add post screen. And, when you add add stuff, you can go to the submit button and, I'm going to create a post. I'm going to link back. But you also can go to these fields, and my visible fields are the two that were kind of generated for me. The Adalo looked at my database and said, "Oh yeah, you want to post text and an image," but I also want to set automatically, and I'm going to add an automatic field, which is the user. Okay, and it's going to be the login user, right? So in other words, when the user clicks submit, whoever that user is, whoever's logged in, is going to get marked as the author of that post. And pretty easy, that's all done. Okay, anyway, we're not going to even test that right now. What we want to do is get this guy working and add our additional fields up here. All right, so I'm going to move this picture. I want to make this picture a little bit smaller. And I want to make sure I have room for my other stuff, okay? And I still want to add some more stuff to my post list. Okay, I need another component. Yeah, I've got my image or my text label, my image, and a created label. Okay, but what I want to add is kind of the author label. Okay, and let's just start with just that. And I'm going to try to get that in there, but I don't know if it, no, it's, yeah, it is in there. Notice it showed up down here too. So I'm just going to want to get it right there. And this guy is going to be called the author text. Okay. And the data it's going to show, if I do the magic text, is the current post's users, which is the author, and full name. Okay, because we're not even setting the username right now, so we need to say full name. Okay, so I think whoever posted this, and really it's a, I just pretended who posted it, but that's going to be there. Let's just test this. And when I preview, it does say, oh yeah, Henry Hayward posted this picture, and that's the caption. And Tomas Wolver posted this one, and that's the caption. All right, we're doing good. We can also we need a little picture, right? So I can go back to, my list item here, and I'll just kind of choose it in this way. I'll go to home, post list, and what I want to do is go down to components, and I want to add one more thing, which is another image. I'm going to rename the big image. That's the post image, right? Because we're also going to have kind of the author image. So that's the post image. And then I'm going to go back to post list components, and I'm going to add a author image. Okay, so I'm going to add component image, and I'm going to stick it over here. It's not going to fit for now. And I'm going to make it really small. And I'm going to I'm going to move this full name over just slightly. And then I'm going to stick this guy. And notice you can see it's kind of appearing in both. Oh no, it came out. So I got to stick it back in. Okay, there we go. It's a little tricky. You got to make sure you get it as an item. And for some reason that's going away. So I just got to get this guy, this little image. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to resize it. And I'm kind of glad this came up, because this is definitely a tricky thing about Adalo. I need this guy to show up as part of my list item. And right now I'm having trouble doing that, but I think if I kind of pull it out and then bring it back and drop it, yeah, I think it's showing up now. And then I just need to carefully bring it up here. And good, there it is. Okay. So I've got this image now. I'm going to rename it to, this is the author image. That's really his profile image, right? And the source, of course, is going to be from my database, the current post's user's profile pic. Okay. And I don't know how good this is going to look, but let's just see if we get our data at least in there correctly. And good. So Henry's picture is showing up as the author. There's what he posted. Here's some text, which is the caption, or the post text is what we called it, and then the creation date. So I'm getting closer to my goal of this kind of app that looks like the real Instagram. Okay, so I need to beautify this a little bit, but you can see we've got all our elements in that we want. We got to mess with the picture to make it, show the picture correctly, and we'll do that. But let's go ahead and do more of the behavior stuff. And what I want to do is talk about likes. Let's let a user like stuff, okay? And so we're going to have to add another element here. And I guess the first thing I'm going to do is kind of grab this post text and move it over. And I'm going to try to put a toggle right here, a heart, okay? So people can like and dislike. And we're also going to change the database a little bit, okay? So let's start off and go to the database. And basically, every post can have a list of the users who have liked it. And that's the way we'll kind of look at it. So right now, the post has these properties. We'll add one more property, and that's called, it's a relationship to users, okay? And every post can like, many users can like it, and every user can like multiple posts, right? So we really want to choose this guy down here where it's a many-to-many relationship, okay? And you want to be careful when you choose these because it's really, really important. Okay, so I've got this users, okay, on my post. So this one is the creator, and these are the ones that kind of like, and I'm going to name it the likes. Okay, so every post is going to have all these likes. Okay, so I got my database part in there, and what I need to do is actually add a toggle. So I'm going to go back to my post list. I'm going to go down to my components again, and then this time what I want to do is add a component, and I'm going to go into the buttons area, and there's a nice one called toggle, which is exactly what I want, because I want to be able to like or unlike, right? So I'm going to grab a toggle in, and let's see, I need to get that so it's in here. There we go, cool. And let's just move this over slightly, the post text. Okay, and here's my toggle. I don't want a checkbox. What I want to do is, I don't know, I think it's called favorite. Yeah, good. So if they like it, it's going to be darkened. Okay, and the inactive icon. So this means if the icon's off, okay, or this toggle is off, and I'm going to do my favor again, and I'm going to choose this kind of open one. Okay, so that's the inactive icon, and this is going to toggle the current post likes, but what we want to know is, does the likes, okay, does that list of users, which is the list of users who have liked it, does it include the logged in user? Okay, and because what we care about here is whoever's using the system, do they like the item or not? Okay, so that's exactly what we want to do with that toggle, and Adalo makes it pretty easy to set that up. Okay, and you do need to add your action though down here. Okay, right now it's just going to go on and off. What you want to do is add an action, and when the toggle is on, so when the toggle is turned off, when the toggle is turned on, I want to add an action, and what I want to do is I want to update the current post, and not the user. I want to update current post, and for the current post, I want to change the likes. Okay, and I want to add the logged in user to liked. Okay, so when this is off and they turn it on, when the toggle's turned on, I'm going to add that user to the list of likes for the current post. Okay, done. Okay, now when it's turned off, I kind of need to do the opposite. So I'm going to update the current post. Okay, and how do I want to update the current post? I want to go to likes and I want to remove the logged in user. Okay. All right, so let's try this out. I think we're working. Notice the heart shows up in, it is part of the list item because it's showing up in all of them. So if I preview and I run this guy, okay, it's looking pretty good. There's the author, there's the picture. None of these are liked yet. I'm not sure who I am right now. I think I'm Henry Hayward, but either way, I'm gonna click on that guy. The toggle comes on. Okay, so this one's liked, this one's not liked. If I kind of rerun the app, let's see if it saved that information in my database. I think it did, and it did, right? It came back on because this user, whether it's Henry Hayward or Tomas Wolber, liked it. So it had that in the database, so it turned the toggle on when we reopen the app, and I can untoggle to turn it off, and that's because of that second action I added. Okay, so that's the way to do likes. Now this is a simplified way to do likes because one thing we're not recording is the history of the like. So we don't know when someone likes or when someone unlikes, and a lot of times system administrators want to know that information. Anyway, we got some beautifying to do, but I've showed you how to kind of get some author information into your Instagram posts, make the picture bigger, and the key element of this tutorial really is how do I use these custom lists so I can make each item look exactly how I want it to, or have exactly the elements that I want it to. And that's kind of what we did with this. Thank you.